Welcome, guys, to Road to Resilience, recapturing athletes' focus. This is a major thing, I think, with athletes at the moment. We've got such laser focus on everything they do that they miss parts and areas of their lives, and things get thrown out. So what I've done is I've assembled the best I could with what I had in my resources. And I've got here with me Rigg, who played 15-year career at national level softball. He was a self-made pitcher. He taught himself how to do the thing he did. And let me tell you, he was a formidable foe when he played against some really high-level teams. He now coaches at national level. Hello, Mark. How are you going?
Good, Luke. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, great. And we're joined here with Brad Harman. Brad Harman signed with the Philadelphia Phillies in 2003, a major league debut in 2008. If I remember correctly, Phillies won that year, didn't they?
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Did you get a ring out of that?
I did.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little jealous now. Played for Australia and currently represents the Melbourne Aces. Welcome, Brad. How you going?
Good, Luke. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome. So, guys, what are we doing here? What are we trying to achieve with this? I'll put this one to you, Mark, first up. What are we trying to achieve with this podcast?
We're trying to achieve, like the title is a very good title. I love the title, actually. Road to Resilience, recapturing athletes' focus. I think at times athletes can lose focus of where they're going and why they're doing what they do. So hopefully this will help some of the athletes out there get back on track and see where they're going.
Yeah, awesome. And what about you, Brad? What are you looking to achieve with this?
Yeah, I think it's just gaining clarity, and a lot of athletes probably don't realise that they're in the same boat as many others, and it's difficult at times to discuss certain aspects or areas, but at times most athletes will have little struggles and little hurdles along the way. So just opening up that communication and being able to discuss things, I think will really help. I know it certainly would have helped me when I was going through my journey. So that's the goal, just to try and help athletes as they're going through their journey and seek clarity and understand they're not on their own.
Yeah, and even more than that, I think we're trying to establish this path where you're not just an athlete. You know, utilize your laser focus, utilize the strengths that sports have given you into your life. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Everything's transferable, I believe.
Yeah.
From sport into life. So I think we miss that boat a lot as athletes and as coaches. We forget that as well. So.
Well, now that you coach at national level and you coach players that played at your level, what sort of things are you seeing in athletes now?
I'm seeing what I went through myself and trying to do more than what my coaches did for me. Mm-hmm. My coaches were trying to push me to get the best out of me on the field, forgetting about what I was missing out on at home or in my family life at the time. So it's trying to find that balance now, give the players a chance to have that balance and to encourage that. You need to make sure that you're looking after all aspects of your life, not just your sport, especially for us. I mean, softball's an amateur sport. We're not getting paid. I think it costs everyone a fortune to play. So you need to find a balance to keep the momentum there and to want to continue to be at that level.
Yeah, so balance would have been a big struggle for yourself, Brad, moving overseas, doing that thing, and then you're playing Major League Baseball or professional ball, and then floating back home to do the family and the girlfriend and all the things that you were doing. How did that affect your life?
Oh, look, it's definitely tough. You go from living your dream, being sort of focused 24/7 on what you had to do, and then coming home and trying to switch off. So there's got to be that balance of when you're going through your journey or through the season, finding balance away from sport, and then on the flip side, coming home and being able to enjoy the off season, enjoy time with friends and family while still having a focus and understanding what you're trying to get out of your career. So finding balance in both areas it's a challenge, but I think it's just discussing how to go about it and realising how important that it is.
And that's a key focus, I think. What you're saying there, Brad, is knowing how to go about it. You know, I would imagine there are lots of coaches and lots of players and support people that you have around you as an athlete. They're sitting there saying that you need to make sure you're focusing on X, Y, and Z. But how do you do that? And I think that's what I personally would really love to bring to this whole podcast, and through the stories that you guys have throughout your careers, really highlight those sort of areas where you are able to grow and understand where you were, and even some of the lows, because I believe that without the lows we don't grow. So benefits for everybody here, and I would imagine this would be therapeutic for everybody here. I mean, even for you guys, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking back on it now and just listening to what you're saying now, there were so many people going through very similar things I'm sure. And watching those players that I used to play with now having trouble in different areas of their lives that they don't know how to quite deal with, where in that area of my life I'm in a much better place. And why and how could I have helped and how could they have helped me? So it's very, very good subject to bring up and to talk about and to make sure that everyone's helping everyone out.
And you work really hard on that balance because you're a general manager of a company here in Australia that's an international standard company. You're selling across the world, and so you spend a bit of time to make sure that you were looked after that way.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to. You've got to pay the bills. You've got to make sure that everything's looked after. Add to that family, wife, kids. It's a tough balancing act. It still is. It still is to this very day. But you do what you do, and the communication lines that are more open now really helps keep everything in check.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so what can we expect? What can listeners expect, Brad, from us and what we have to say? Why would you listen to us?
Well, I mean, the landscape has certainly changed in the last 10 years, and discussing what we're discussing with balance, mindset, and being open in communication and helping athletes, especially away from the field and getting personal lives on track and making sure that we've got that balance. So I know in the past it was either you were good enough and you got there, whereas nowadays there's certainly that avenue where clubs, both elite, amateur level, are trying to assist athletes away from the field to find their balance and work together, and I suppose give that support that's required. So I suppose what we're really trying to get out of it is allow athletes to understand perhaps what they might need to gain that support, what they can do themselves to reach out, and how they can handle sort of different situations based on some of my stories and what I've gone through personally, what I've seen with teammates. And I suppose, again, just understanding that all athletes go through this stuff, and it's not a sign of weakness. We're all vulnerable at times, and it's learning to use that vulnerability to your advantage. It's embracing it and learning how to work with it rather than running away from it.
Yeah, that's huge. That is huge. And it's with what you were saying about other sports and how they're doing the best they can to help athletes off the field. They're still not looking after them. You know, they're looking after creating a space where they've got somewhere to work and all that sorts of things, but they're not actually looking after what's happening inside. So that's a really good point. All right, cool. Okay, guys, well, that's our intro for today. Trust that you're going to get so much value out of what we've got to bring here. And the boys and even myself are so excited to bring this all to you.
So until next time, keep striving for greatness.